So Spotify is running on iOS 18 and OxygenOS 15 right now, and look at this. They literally lifted Apple's live activities on Dynamic Island, and they use this as live alerts right now. It looks very similar, right? Essentially what happens is that in iOS 18 and OxygenOS 15, you can move certain apps to a little window at the top as a live activity or a live alert, and you can expand the activity there itself. See, I'll show you. So on iOS, you have to tap and hold, and on this, you just have to tap it. But OxygenOS 15 made it its own, and it does two things better. It lets you choose if you want to tap to expand the card or you want to open the app. So you have that choice in your hands. But more importantly, if you put two supported apps to live alerts and if you tap it, then you have an expanded stack with two expanded cards. And you know what? OxygenOS 15 is full of these inspired but improved moments. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to categorize all the new features in OxygenOS 15 into three categories: original, inspired and improved, or copied. And yes, there is a difference between inspired and copied. So basically, when I do this, at the end of the video, you can figure out how you feel about OxygenOS 15. Capish? Alright, I'm Ashar, you're watching Track and Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. The moment I started using OxygenOS 15, the first thing that struck me were the improved animations. It's smoother, it's faster, it's more consistent than any other operating system I've used till date. Yes, that also includes Apple's iOS. This is the first big upgrade that you see, and it's called parallel animations. So when you open an app and close it, and then open another app immediately after you close it, or in between that action itself, the animations flow smoothly. There is literally no stutter. So when you actually open and close 20 apps side by side on OxygenOS 15 and OxygenOS 14, and you see them side by side, and you will realize how good it looks. And the fun fact is that OxygenOS 14 was smooth to begin with, and the animation improvements also extend to other parts of the system. For example, when you're opening a folder. And one thing that we notice is that when you have a widget on the screen, for example the clock widget, and you open it, even that animation is really smooth. In fact, if you look at it on iOS 18, it's kinda stuttery. There's also a new charging animation, there's a new holo fingerprint animation, and the volume slider has this thin volume slider too. So when it comes to the new animations, OxygenOS 15 is original and good. And if you folks think that Track and Tech English content is also original and good, then we'd love your support. Go hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Now I keep saying this over and over again, primarily because like a lot of you watch our videos, but only very few of you subscribe, so it'll help us out. Oh, by the way, one more thing I must mention is that OxygenOS 15 on future OnePlus phones, for example OnePlus 13, will actually have a 20% lighter install on the system, which means that you will have more storage space for you to use. Now we also asked why that cannot be implemented on OnePlus 12. That's because the new hardware, the new system, the new software, all of that have to work together. So that is why OxygenOS 15 will be a lighter install on OnePlus 13. Also, OxygenOS 15 has made great improvements to the always-on display and the lock screen. The new Flux themes seamlessly blend your wallpaper, clock style, and additional info with the always-on display, lock screen, and the home screen. There are a few different styles to choose from, and you can use any wallpaper to create a gorgeous depth effect on the lock screen. But all of the text that you see is all pre-fed. You can't create your own text or write your own text, which I feel is like, what? I mean, should have given us the option, right? Because most of the text that OnePlus has given you the option for, apart from Never Settle, of course, are all pretty lame motivational quotes. I would never use them. Now for AOD and lock screen changes, I'll rate it inspired and improved. Another change is that quick settings can now be used in split mode. So when you swipe down from the top right, you can see the quick settings and the notifications are at the top left. Of course, very similar to how iOS and a lot of Android skins do these days. And the quick settings design has been slightly updated too. It's very well rounded and looks pretty good. Again, I'd rate it inspired and slightly improved. As for the rest of the visual changes, I noticed a couple of extra icon options. I saw radiance and shadow, and the aquamorphic has moved to classic style now. I like the new icons, they do look good. Plus, there are a few new cards in the OnePlus shelf, which I don't think I've ever used. Do you guys actually use it? Let me know in the comment section below. But the widget pages design is the exact same, plus the app drawer is exactly the same as well. No changes there. There's a neat little Easter egg in OxygenOS 15 now, and I think a few of you will remember it. How nice is that? But of course, not just this, the feature upgrades are also very, very interesting. For example, there's a new share with iPhone option apart from Quick Share that works with Android devices. It's a little bit of a convoluted process, but it works. The first time you share a file with iOS, OxygenOS 15 will share a QR code which will make your iPhone download the O+ Connect app. Once downloaded, there's a Wi-Fi connection created between the two phones, and then you can transfer your files easily. I mean, of course, it's a workaround and it's making you download an app on iPhone, but at least they figured out a solution. Now I won't have to to use local send all the time, at least on OnePlus devices. Now, this feature is definitely an original. One of my favorite features with OnePlus Open was the OnePlus Canvas, and a mini version of the OnePlus Canvas has been extended to OxygenOS 15. No, you cannot have a triple window setup, you can still have a double window split screen only. But now when you watch a YouTube video, you can expand it much further, nearly to 80 to 85% of the screen. On OxygenOS 14, you can see that it cannot expand to this level. Also, I like the fact that you can actually copy an image, save it to file doc, and then move it to, say, a notes app or a messaging app within that same split screen. It's all very well done. Of course, AI upgrades are here too, and a big chunk of them are in the Photos app. AI Unblur is a new option, so if you have a slightly blurry photo, it adds details and makes it look better. And the results that we got were, of course, very, very impressive. Now, one feature that's already there in OxygenOS 14 is AI Eraser, but you do have a new eraser for reflections. Now, when I tested it out, the reflections around the environment, it was doing a fairly good job of reducing it. But if the reflections were on a subject, for example, on a car window or on a car logo, that wouldn't get erased. But I still feel that it's very, very useful. But the new AI Detail Boost has to be my favorite feature. You can basically crop into any picture to frame your picture according to what you want and not worry about detail loss. So the AI Boost actually adds more details. It's called 4K UHD for some reason, I don't know why. But that boost is done so tastefully that I actually liked it more than super res zoom on Pixel. It doesn't look artificial, which is nice. So all of the AI features, again, inspired from other operating systems, but improved in performance, which is good. The Notes app also has a bunch of AI features, and they are all specific to writing. So you can format text, clean up, polish, shorten, and change the tone and elaborate. This is very similar to how Apple Intelligence works on iOS 18.1. iOS 18.1 has nice animations. Similarly, green color animations are there on OxygenOS 15 as well. It does look good. Of course, the results of how these edits happen and how both of these edit stuff are completely different, but I actually prefer Apple's job compared to OnePlus, but still OnePlus is doing a fairly decent job. However, one thing that OxygenOS does and Apple Intelligence does not is elaborate. So you basically write a piece of text, and if you want it to elaborate based on contextual information that it can find from the internet, then it can do it on its own. But if you ask me, all the AI features added to Notes feels like, yes, for the very first time in this whole video, a copy. Also, what I noticed is that since OnePlus uses Google Keyboard, you can't get all of these writing features or writing tools when you're actually maybe composing a text message, which is possible with Apple Intelligence on the iPhone. I mean, there's something called AI Reply with OxygenOS 15, but unfortunately that wasn't working. I mean, AI Reply would probably be like it's generating own responses depending on what message you get, right? And there's something called Intelligent Search, which basically gives you contextual search results. So you can ask it what time's my flight, and then it'll look through your phone, and if it has the answer, it'll give you the answer. But unfortunately, this feature was also not working in the beta that we tested. However, I did notice something new: AI Summary and AI Speak when I used the smart sidebar. So when you open any web page or a long text, basically maybe even a PDF, you can get simple summaries or make AI Speak the article for you. Again, these are things that iOS already does.
Arun Pravasile Truck and Tech Hindi has now transformed into a 1.4 crore strong family on YouTube.
I do feel that the AI features in the Photos app are actually pretty good, but with the other aspects of the system, like for example AI Notes, there is a little bit of polish required, but at least the foundation is there and they can start working on it on future updates. And finally, OxygenOS 15 has also added a bunch of Android 15 features. So Circle to Search is here finally. There's Pass Scan as well, which scans your boarding pass and adds it to Google Wallet. The default assistant can be Google Gemini now. Even Gemini Live works. I tried it out and I've been enjoying using Gemini. And Android 15's theft protection is here as well. Considering Android 15 didn't have too many features, this is really nice. Alright, so I know I haven't tested the camera performance improvements or battery life improvements, primarily because this is a closed beta and all of my data would be invalid until the stable release happens. But in this video, I'm sure that you must have gotten a look at what are the new OxygenOS 15 features. So what do you guys think? Do you actually like OxygenOS 15? Do you think it's nice? Do you think that it's a copy of all the other features across other brands? Or do you think that they've used basically been inspired and created interesting stuff? I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below. But you know what? I'll tell you this. We've tested a bunch of Android 15 skins and Android 15 itself, like for example, FunTouchOS 15, NothingOS 3.0, and now OxygenOS 15. Of all that I've tested, the OxygenOS 15 update seems like the most number of feature updates that we've tested till now, and it is also very, very good. until maybe One UI 7 drops, because leaks are saying that it's going to be a massive one this year. By the way, this is exactly what ColorOS 15 is also going to be, with a few design changes here and there. OxygenOS 15 is not entirely unique anymore. We'll have to make peace with that. Alright, that's it from me for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.